Today's number is 5. 5 years. That's how long a lot of premium refrigerators survive before the repair quote turns them into trash. Not every unit, but enough that technicians have a script for it. And the script starts in the same place, the compressor. Back in 1985, someone bought a simple refrigerator, nothing but a thermostat and a rugged motor. 40 years later, that same appliance is still cooling drinks in a garage, or sitting perfectly intact in a grandmother's kitchen. It was a one-time purchase. The old compressor had one job: turn on, cool, turn off. It wasn't elegant, it wasn't optimized by an algorithm. It used a simple, rotating piston submerged in oil, cycling on and off based on a mechanical thermostat. When the temperature rose, it kicked in. When it dropped, it rested. Few moving parts, thick copper lines, mechanical relays. If voltage fluctuated, it survived. If dust built up on the coils, it survived. It was built with wide tolerances. It was forgiving. Today, you walk into a showroom, pay $2,500 for a smart refrigerator with a touchscreen, internal cameras, and the stainless steel finishes, and in many cases, it doesn't even make it to 5 years without a catastrophic and ridiculously expensive failure. You're under the showroom lights, stainless steel, touchscreen. The salesperson says 30% more efficient. You nod, you pay, and you just bought a future repair bill. In 1985, a refrigerator might have cost the equivalent of 2 weeks of wages. Today, a premium model can cost a full month's salary for many households, and yet it lasts a fraction of the time. You are paying more money for less lifespan, not because technology failed, because priorities changed. Your old fridge is still running in the garage. You upgrade because the new one looks modern. It has a screen. It has a brand badge that promises innovation. 5 years later, whilst the old one is still humming quietly, the new one is waiting for a part that no longer exists. What changed in the heart of these machines? And even worse, why is it that when it finally fails, the technician sighs and tells you with total indifference that it's not worth fixing? This is a luxury appliance, not a toy. Today, I'm showing you the trap of the linear compressor. It's a piece of engineering they sell you as the future of efficiency, but in reality, it is the very mechanism that turns your refrigerator into e-waste much sooner than you think. I'm going to show you the trick behind its design and how to avoid being the next victim of this system. And in just a minute, when I'm going to show you the detail that kills it, even when the compressor is still running, there is a critical failure point that no one tells you about in the owner's manual, and once you see it, you will never look at a modern refrigerator the same way again. It's not an accident, it's an engineering choice. A traditional compressor spins, it rotates continuously, lubricated by oil, tolerating imbalance and minor imperfections. It is mechanically inefficient compared to modern standards, but it is robust. A linear compressor moves differently. Instead of spinning, it moves back and forth in a straight line, driven by electromagnetic force, fewer friction points, fewer energy losses, higher efficiency. But that efficiency depends on precise alignment and tight mechanical tolerances. And tight tolerances are not forgiving. Efficiency requires tight tolerances. Tight tolerances hate contamination. A single particle of debris in the refrigerant line, a slight oil breakdown, a tiny refrigerant imbalance, and the system begins to degrade, not instantly, quietly. At first, you hear a faint new sound, a slightly longer cooling cycle. Then the compressor runs more often. Your energy bill ticks upward. The fridge feels warm in spots it never did before. The system is not dead. It is struggling, and struggling systems fail. It all starts in the bright showroom. under the glowing lights where they sell you silence, efficiency, and technology. It looks premium. They talk to you about how this new linear compressor saves 30% on energy and how it keeps your vegetables crisp longer thanks to its precision digital control. It's seductive. It's sleek. It looks like the pinnacle of modern comfort. But the trick isn't that it has more features. The true deception isn't in the touchscreen that tells you the weather or the connectivity to your phone. Those are just decorative distractions. The trick is that it's designed so that a common failure becomes irreparable or ridiculously expensive. Imagine this: a tiny $3 internal spring fatigues from constant movement, or a micro crack appears in an aluminum pipe that replaced the copper of the past. In an old refrigerator, this would be a minor setback. But in the linear compressor system, they have created a closed and extremely sensitive ecosystem. What used to be a routine repair now requires replacing the entire unit, reprogramming the main electronic board, and welding components that come factory sealed. That's the sealed system bill, and it's designed to hurt. Sealed system repair is not a screwdriver job. It means evacuating refrigerant, nitrogen pressure testing, vacuum pumping the system to remove moisture, recharging refrigerant under compliance regulations, welding sealed copper or aluminum lines. This requires specialized equipment, licensed technicians, time. By the time the estimate is written, you are already halfway to the price of a new refrigerator. They have designed a system so interconnected that it doesn't allow for modular maintenance. They have taken the hardest working part of your home and stripped it of its ability to be saved. It didn't fail because you were unlucky. Well, it failed because the system was designed so that the cost of the cure exceeds the value of the patient, forcing you to throw 1,000 pounds of metal and plastic into the trash because of a calculated design error. They designed it so the cure costs more than the patient. You call a technician. He opens the back panel for 10 seconds. He sighs and says the words you hate, not worth fixing. If the linear compressor is the heart that fails, the modern ice system is the wound that never heals. To understand why your new refrigerator leaks water or makes strange grinding noises, you have to look at where they decided to put the ice factory. Before, the ice lived where it belonged, in the freezer. It was a matter of basic physics. Ice stays solid where the temperature is below freezing. There was no mystery, and there were almost no failures. But marketing departments decided that reaching down into the freezer was too much work for the modern consumer. Now they put it on top where the system is designed to cool, not to freeze. They have moved the ice maker into the refrigeration compartment, which usually sits at 38 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the indoor ice trap. Ice forced to live in a warm world. Every time you open the refrigerator door, warm air enters. Warm air carries moisture. Moisture meets sub-freezing surfaces. Frost forms. And frost restricts airflow. Restricted airflow forces the compressor to run longer. Longer runtime increases internal stress. You are fighting basic thermodynamics every time you want ice. Trying to manufacture and maintain ice in an environment that is well above the freezing point is an engineering nightmare. That forces the system to push cold air through ducts, seals, and plastics that pass through the warmer zones of the fridge. The result? Blocked ice, frost buildup, water on the floor, and the fan motor working overtime to compensate for that constant thermal loss. Rubber seals fail due to moisture. The chute fills with snow, and eventually the entire system freezes over and stops working. It is a guaranteed failure by design. They didn't do it to make your life easier. It was all so it would look cleaner in the catalog photo, prioritizing aesthetics over the most elementary laws of thermodynamics. And once the indoor ice trap starts, It doesn't need maintenance. It needs a surrender. That's the indoor ice trap, and it never stops collecting interest. As if the mechanical problems weren't enough, the industry decided to add a layer of digital complexity that nobody asked for. Before, it was a simple control. One thing failed, you changed one thing. If the thermostat broke, you bought a thermostat. If the fan died, you replaced the fan. It was a modular, honest system, and above all, repairable with basic tools. Now there is a board, sensors, a screen, and all of that ages worse than metal. We have filled an appliance that vibrates, it generates heat, and lives with moisture with ultra-sensitive microchips. Electronics do not age like metal. Metal wears gradually. Circuit boards age chemically. Capacitors dry out over time. Solder joints expand and contract with heat cycles. Microfractures form. The refrigerator vibrates, it generates heat. It lives in humidity. This is not a friendly environment for a computer. Manufacturers place these electronic boards in inaccessible or poorly ventilated areas. Over time, the heat from the condenser or the moisture from the defrost cycles ends up frying the circuits. When the board dies, it's not a $10 a screw. It's an expensive part, and sometimes you can't even get it. It's no longer a mechanical repair. It's a matter of proprietary software and hardware. The manufacturer stops producing the specific board after 5 years, and suddenly your luxury refrigerator is a useless metal cabinet. Then comes the parts support cutoff. The board disappears, whilst your fridge becomes a cabinet. You type the part number. The internet laughs back, discontinued. You call the brand, they confirm it. That's the parts support cutoff. That is the moment you call technical service and you hear the phrase again. It's not worth fixing. You realize that Smart wasn't there to help you make a grocery list, but to ensure that your refrigerator's brain has a programmed expiration date. They sold you a computer that cools, when what you needed was a refrigerator that lasts. And the sealed system bill plus the parts support cutoff is how a $2,500 fridge turns into landfill math. After dismantling the engineering of deception, the question that remains is, how do you defend yourself? You don't need to be a thermodynamics expert to win this game. You just need the discipline to not bite the marketing bait. Here are my 3 auditor rules for buying a refrigerator that won't betray you in 5 years. Rule 1. Do not buy touchscreen, Wi-Fi, internal cameras. Buy basic controls, simple thermostat-style interface. Every extra function is another failure point. Every sensor is another calibration risk. Every board is another heat-sensitive component. You're not buying a tablet, you are buying cold storage. Rule 2. Do not buy designs that turn a small leak into a sealed system bill. Buy designs with accessible parts and repairable cooling components. Modular design means one part fails, one part gets replaced, not a chain reaction, not a sealed ecosystem collapse. A repairable fridge isolates failure. A disposable fridge amplifies it. Rule 3. Do not buy indoor ice trap, complex ducts, catalog clean aesthetics. Buy ice maker in the freezer, simple airflow, easy access panels. Ice belongs in the coldest environment in the appliance. Freezers are designed to freeze. Refrigerator compartments are not. Design that respects physics lasts longer. Design that respects marketing photographs does not. We've reached the end of the line and the conclusion is clear. The industry has changed the rules of the game, and you are the one who always loses. They aren't selling you durability. They are selling you a replacement. Every time a 5-year-old refrigerator ends up on the curb because it's not worth fixing, the system is working exactly as it was designed. Obsolescence isn't a miscalculation, it's the business model. A refrigerator used to be an appliance, or now it behaves like a subscription, not in monthly payments, in forced replacement cycles. You depend on proprietary boards, software locks, and parts availability schedules you do not control. Ownership has quietly been replaced with conditional usage. When your appliance dies because a board was discontinued, you are not a customer. You are a participant in a replacement program. They distract you with shine so you don't look at the heart of the system. They wrap the product in LED lights, touch panels, and the stainless steel finishes so you ignore that. On the inside, they've stripped away its soul and its endurance. Stop buying marketing. Buy simplicity. Buy repairability. Demand appliances that respect your money and the environment. Let's reclaim the culture of being owners, not just temporary users. Choosing the simple path isn't about being old-fashioned. It's about being a rebel in a world that wants to force you to throw everything away every 5 years. Your home is full of these traps, and we're just getting started disarming them. Stop buying the screen. Stop buying the promise. Buy the refrigerator that can be fixed. If you want to see the next category where they do the same thing, watch this video right now.